Hello, this is a review of my custom-built FPV quadcopter. Before we delve too deeply into this review, I just want to point out that this is not a review of one particular product, but rather a collection of products that all work together to make this thing fly. That being said, let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the outside of the quadcopter and kind of work my way in. So starting off, the frame is the Flight Test FT210 quadcopter frame. The propellers or props are HQ 5x4x3 V1S. These are the polycarbonate version, or PC for short, just for some extra durability. The motors are the Emax RS 2205 2300 kV motor, and the HD camera is SJ Cam SJ4000, the Wi-Fi version. The battery is a 75C 1300 milliamp hour 4-cell LiPo made by Venom. The antenna that you see here is a Foxeer right-hand circular polarized omnidirectional antenna. The FPV camera that I'm using is the Foxeer HS1177, and it has a GoPro Hero lens. And for the power system that I'm using is the TBS Power Cube with the FP Vision, which is a power distribution board, on-screen display, and video transmitter all built into one. You don't necessarily have to do that. If you do decide to go that route, it's going to add a little bit more money to the cost of this total build, and you will have to solder on the connectors. However, if you want a pure plug-and-play route, you can go just with a traditional FPV transmitter. This is a DYS MI200 milliwatt 40 channel just video transmitter with an SMA connector. This is an SMA female end. Now this, you will have to do some extra little work. The pins that you see here are, when you plug it in, I found this to work when it was set to the this brown cable is your audio video in, the black is your ground, and you will need 5 volts to go in to this device to power it. Now, in order to do that, you will need an X-Acto knife or something of the same thickness or thinness, I should say, to move your 5 volt from the out position, which is here, to the in position, which is here. And then on the other end, then that plugs into the power distribution board that comes with the TBS Power Cube. You might have to move some of these pins around to get it to line up with the diagram that's in the TBS manual description, where it describes where all these pins go. Now you have to do the same thing to the cord running from your camera to the power distribution board as well. But it's all plug and play, no resoldering is required. And last, but certainly not least, I am running an FrSky X4R SB. It's a diversity receiver, and it is paired to a FrSky Tyrannus QX7. The goggles that I'm using are the SkyZone Sky O2S V+, and they're the ones that come with the 3D camera and the antennas and the transmitter, which, by the way, I haven't tested those yet. And for antennas, for the diversity receiver, I've got a TBS Triumph stubby antenna on one end, and it with a 90-degree SMA adapter. And on the other end, I'm running a Immersion RC Spironet right-hand circular polarized patch antenna. For batteries, I am using two 18650 rechargeable batteries inside of the Fat Shark little case for them, where I can see how much of the battery I have left. Works just fine. One final thing to note here, if you just buy just the TBS Power Cube by itself and use this video transmitter, you will not have an on-screen display. And for me, that was a bit of an issue because an on-screen display at a glance will tell me how many amps the entire system is drawing, the percentage of the battery I have left, the voltage that my battery is sitting at, and it will also tell me how much of the battery that I have consumed. And that for me just allows me to fly with more confidence, knowing that this system is not going to fall out of the sky, potentially. You don't have to go that route, but I paid the extra money just so I could be a safer pilot. So, now that we have discussed all of the equipment that I'm using, let us now cut to flight footage.
So this is some flight footage using the same plug-and-play build you just saw me go over. As far as software goes, I am running Betaflight 3.2 using the multi-shot ESC protocol, both air mode and anti-gravity mode, stock Betaflight PIDs, 0.86 super rate on roll, pitch, and yaw, and BLHeli-S 16.65 firmware for the ESCs. This flies really well and feels very natural to fly. The Taranis QX7 gives me solid control over the aircraft and plenty of range. The software setup I currently have allows for both smooth cruising flying when the sticks are near center, but also allow for some quick flips and rolls when you jam the sticks as far as they will go in any direction. The Emax 2300 kV motor, V1S prop, and 75C battery give this aircraft plenty of power. There are more powerful motors out there, but this combo of motor, prop, and battery is more than enough to recover from any trick you want to pull off. If you want to see the performance of this combination of motor, prop, and battery, I will link my test of the V1S prop, it's a video I did a while back, in the description below. This combo also allows for some good flight time as well. If you want maximum flight time and don't want to fly with an HD camera, all you have to do is strap on a 1500 milliamp hour 4S LiPo to this setup and you can get up to 10 minutes of flight time just cruising around and taking things easy. However, if you're constantly on the throttle and doing a lot of high power maneuvers and capturing the experience on an HD camera, then you can expect a flight time of 3 to 5 minutes. So what about durability? Well, I can tell you this quad is very durable. I had a few crashes into trees during this flight session, and all I had to do was bend the props back into their natural shape and I was good to keep on flying. Now, that's not to say that this aircraft is indestructible, because I guarantee you that if you fly it like you hate it, then things will break. However, since this is a plug-and-play build, when things do break, all you have to do is just unscrew the broken component, plug in the replacement component, and put everything back together. No soldering required.
So, in closing, if you are an aspiring FPV drone pilot and you want to, say, build your own mini quad, but you don't want to do a lot of soldering, I recommend going with something like this. You don't have to use this exact frame. You can pretty much use any frame that uses 36 millimeter standoffs, because this stack sits 30 millimeters high. But everything that you see in this video is plug and play. There's not a whole lot of soldering required unless you want to go with the TBS FP Vision option, in which you will need to solder on your XT60 connector that comes in the box. Or even if you don't want to solder that, you can take it to a cell phone shop, pay like $30 and have somebody there solder it for you. So I'm gonna call this review a wrap. I'm very happy with this product. I'm very satisfied with performance that I get out of this thing for the price that I paid. And you can also make this build as cheap or as expensive as you would like. Like if you wanted to, you don't have to have an FR Sky receiver. You don't have to buy this particular radio. You can put a depending on what frame you have, you can buy a cheaper or expensive radio. This system will work with Spectrum, but for me at least, this is the drone that I wanted. It wasn't on the market. All the parts were on the market. I just had to build it. This thing is very easy to repair. It's very durable. It's very fast. It does some really awesome, you can do some really awesome aerial maneuvers with it. It has a very robust and reliable radio link between my transmitter and the actual aircraft itself. Those are the things that I was looking for in an FPV quadcopter, and this is it. So if you want an FPV quadcopter that hits all of those boxes, build this one. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for, listening to what I have to say. I want to say a huge thank you to my family back home in Texas, particularly my mother, my dad, and my youngest brother, Austin. They came in when they came to visit me in St. Louis. They completely redid my room, including giving me this work table. So this review would not have been possible without their help. So thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you, Austin. One final thing. I would like to do a review on these two items. I want to give both of these items their own videos where I just discuss my thoughts, what I think about them. So, you, the audience, people who watch this video, if you are interested in either of these products, let me know in the comments. And whichever one y'all want me to do first, that's the one that I will do. However, if I don't get a lot of responses, I'm picking. So, thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one.